Ano si majority? Okay. So, Zoom. Okay. Mr. Secretary, maayong hapon. Majority floor leader. Ana? Okay. Majority. Majority floor leader Ayan Mar Kiblat na kaya. May hapon kanimo. Kuan dali na may sign sa mute.
Okay na ba?
Okay, okay. Loud and clear. Okay, Mr. Secretary, majority floor. Usually ready around, and since we have a program already, so we now proceed. The 59th regular session sa Guniang Panglungsod, Dakpan sa Cagayan de Oro is now called to order. Please do stand. An invocation by is Councilor Ruben Daba?
May hapon, Vice. Yes, Vice. May hapon.
Okay. For our invocation this afternoon, Councilor Ruben Roa Daba. May hapon.
Thank you, Vice. Shall we bow down our heads in prayer? Lord Jesus, give us the grace to hear your voice and the strength to continue working for your glory in this time of pandemic. Don't allow us to be indifferent to those who suffered the loss of a loved one or who suffer from the absence of work. For our brothers and sisters who have contracted with and are suffering due to coronavirus disease, we pray that your healing hand may rest upon them. For our beloved frontliners, may you watch, protect them over their health, and help them to stay positive, full of love, and taking care of their patient. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work for the service of your people. Glory and honor be thine. We pray that together we can overcome this global crisis and that after this pandemic, we build a more just and human world. This we ask in your mighty name. Amen.
Thank you, Councilor Ruben Daba, and for the singing of our national anthem. For the Cagayan de Oro March,
Thank you.
Okay, mayong hapon sa tanan. To all the regular members of the 19th City Council, mayong hapon kaninyo. And this is our 59th regular session of the City Council. So we have a quorum with the respective different abode. To our fellow councilor, mayong hapon kaninyo, tanan.
Ngayong hapon,
Mm.
Vice.
Hapon.
Those who are present in the plenary or in the session hall, and so as to the live via Zoom. Oh, grabe kayo si Councilor Suset magtaas Davao pusing. Oh. Is that live? Wala.
Ngayong hapon. Wala di live.
Lihok. Ha?
Wala pa ko nag-on sa kong video, Vice, but I'm here.
Okay. Kuyawan ko na. Kuyawan ko nga wala may kay lihok-lihok.
Wala pa na-on ang video, Vice, kay Kuan Mobile.
Wala ka ko sa mong liog wa.
Saan mo?
Anyway, mayong hapon ka natong tanan. So, Mr. Secretary, mayong hapon kanimo, Arturo de San Miguel. Can you do the roll call and determine if we do have a quorum?
Good afternoon, Vice Mayor. Roll call for this afternoon session. Honorable Rener Joaquin Vioy, City Vice Mayor and Presiding Officer. The first District Councilors, Honorable Ednaim Dahino, Honorable J.R. Pascual, Honorable Roger G. Abaday, Honorable Saldi O. Ocon, Honorable George is Goking, Honorable Ruben Ardaba,
Here.
Honorable Lordan G. Swan, Honorable Romeo V. Calizo. For the second district councilors, Honorable Joylen Mercedes L. Balaba, Honorable Maria Lourdes Iscaani, Honorable Ann Mark Yunakaya, Honorable Sosette G. Magtahas Daba,
Here.
Honorable Chodolfo E. Lau Jr., Honorable Enrico D. Salcedo, Honorable Jocelyn Rodriguez, Honorable
Present.
Edgar S. Cabanlas. For the ex-officio members, Honorable Yan Lam Islim, Liga ng mga Barangay President, and Honorable John Michael Alceno, CTSK Federation President. There is quorum, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Secretary. So we do have a quorum. Have to test our audio system, our mic. Majority Floor Leader, are you already around?
I am live, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, mayong hapon kanimo, majority.
Mayong hapon.
Ayan, Mark, Kiblat na kaya.
Wala ilis-ilis si Councilor Suset siyang t-shirt do. Walang gyapon, miyaging simana.
Oy, na anak ko. Tamo, kilabtanon.
Hindi ay, out of this world din siya. Ikan, Hayman.
But what about Councilor J. Pascual?
Wala daw siya di session hall, Vice.
Going
Mo ana naka-text ako nga see you at the session hall majority.
Ang hag siya, hag.
Mo ya plano.
Anyway,
Mag-courtesy call siya sa imong office.
his seatmate is Councilor Edgar Cabanlas lang man and si Councilor John Michael Seno and so as Councilor Edna Dahino. So I'm sure naging biso-biso nila ni.
Yay!
I told him last session that he will listen to her mother. He will be in his abode as he will join our session. Well, anyway, basin gimingaw to sa ato atanan. Iyang ipampasa ang iyang fruitful experience live.
Ulat-ulati lang, Vice. Ulat-ulati lang.
With free, free snack tikali. Anyway,
Ito, masuroy.
Majority Floor Leader, ayon Mark, kiblat na kaya.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes of meeting on September 28, 2020, and to consider the furnishing of its copy to every member as the reading itself.
Properly moved by the majority floor. Any second from the
Second.
regular members? Okay, seconded. Is there any correction? Is there any? Hearing none, it is hereby approved
I likewise move for the approval of the said minutes of meeting.
for its finality. Any second, seconded.
On special report portion, Mr. Chairman, we have Councilor Roger Abada. I would like to render a report on his concern about the senior citizens. And Councilor Maria Lourdes Gani, who would like to render a report on the result of the committee meeting that she had on meat inspection code, Mr. Chairman. So on that order, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Councilor Abaday and Gani.
Councilor Roger Abada and Councilor Maria Lourdes Gani. Okay, our first report, Councilor Roger Abada. Councilor Roger Abada.
Thank you very much, Majority Floor. Thank you very much also, our presiding officer, Vice Mayor Ricky Kanguy. Of course, together with my colleagues in the 19th City Council, o sa tanang mga katawhan nga naminaw karon sa atong tanaw karon sa atong virtual and live regular session. So ngayong hapon kaninyong tanan. Did you know that the first week of October 1 to 7 is Elderly Filipino Week, and the whole month of October is Elderly Session, a Senior Citizen Celebration Month. Okay, so Elderly Filipino Week is observed every first week of October by virtue of Proclamation Number 470, signed on September 26, 1994, by the then President Fidel V. Ramos. The proclamation spells out the responsibility of the Executive Department through the Department of Social Welfare and Development, DSWD, to develop social welfare program promoting the well-being of the elderly. According to the latest data from Philippine Statistics Authority, PSA, there are more than 7.3 million Filipinos aged 60 and above based on 2015 census. In Cagayan de Oro alone, based on ID applications sa CSWD in 2016, to present there are 74,000 citizens. Ako lang nag-look sa ID, identification card. Senior citizens ID lang. So, wala labot pa itong wala pa ka naka-secure, no? So, about the Senior Citizens Month, no? The Senior Citizens Month provides an opportunity for people of all ages to celebrate with our seniors. We celebrate their lives, accomplishment, wisdom, and knowledge. We want to provide an opportunity for them to pass this rich heritage on the families and communities. It can be an exciting time to get the family and community together and to be active with our elders and older adults. The primary purpose of this year's Senior Citizen
number of senior citizens.
is to dedicate time to recognize the contribution seniors make to the quality of life. During this month, let's take an extra time and care in honoring our senior citizens. The prosperity we continue to enjoy today has been made possible by the seniors and elders of our communities. Traditionally, the city of Cagayan de Oro
Senior
and
citizen nga wala ID.
Mayor Oscar Moreno and the City Council is giving recognition and honor by giving incentives and tokens, especially those couples who are celebrating their 50th anniversary, wedding anniversary. And for those seniors or older adults that reach to the 100 years of age or centenarian. Now, per record, there are about 58 couples today, more or less, who are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. Congratulations for those seniors. And there are 12 seniors or older adults now are centenarians or 100 years old. Congratulations again, mga lulag lulo, no? You reach this age. But since we are in the COVID-19 pandemic period, the celebrations are simplified to meet the minimum health standard. So, i-distribute na lang ang ilang mga tokens sa per balay-balay na lang sa mga atong mga seniors, no? Now, however, with regards to the centenarians, this representation is passing a resolution requesting the Honorable City Mayor for the immediate release of amount of 100,000 pesos as cash gift and felicitations to the 12 centenarians in the city of Cagayan de Oro. This is mandated under Public Act number 10868, an act honoring the granting of additional benefits and privileges to Filipino centenarians or Centenarian Act of 2016. Section 2 of Republic Act 10868. Felicitations and cash gift. All Filipinos who reach the age of 100 years old, whether residing in the Philippines, shall be honored with a letter of felicitation from the President of the Philippines, congratulating and celebrating for his or her longevity, or a centenarian gift in the amount of 100,000 pesos is extended to them. No? Now, Section 3 of the said law, National Respect for Centenarians Day, as part of the annual Elderly Filipino Week, October 1 to 7, the first Sunday of October is hereby declared as National Respect for Centenarian Day, during which all Filipinos who have turned centenarian in the current fiscal year shall be awarded a plaque of appreciation and cash incentive by their respective city or municipal government in appropriate ceremonies, in addition to the letter of felicitation and centenarian gift provided for under Section 2 of the same law. Now, in closing, this representation is asking the chairman of Laws and Rules as to the status of the proposed ordinance entitled Promoting the Well-being of Senior Citizens, as known as Cagayan de Oro Ordinance for the Protection and Welfare of the Elderly. Supposed to be maunta na ang iregalo sa Committee on Senior Citizen karon sila selebrasyon karong adlaw sa ilang pagsaulog sa Senior Citizens Week October 1 to 7, 2020. Ug hangtod sa tibuok bulan sa Oktubre. Subo lang kay until now I have not heard what is the status of the ordinance. The city of Manila and all other cities are extending already several incentives to this senior citizen. Na dito sa ordinance unta. So therefore, I am beseeching with my bendedness to the chairman and the members of the Committee on Laws and Rules to act speedily on the said ordinance so as not to derail the interest and welfare of our elderly in the city of Cagayan de Oro. Wala magtulo ka bulan na karon, October 5, the last time that I have submitted to the Laws and Rules. Until now, I have not heard any of this ordinance. So, thank you very much for bearing with me. So, God bless us all.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Roger Abaday. Okay, Councilor Majority Floor Leader Ayan Mark Kiblat na kaya.
As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Chairman, as the chair of the Committee on Laws and Rules, I have not gotten any update. But may we ask the Secretary, Turks de San Miguel, as to the course of the proposal of Councilor Roger Abade?
Mr. Chairman, may I add, Mr. Chairman?
Okay, Councilor Roger Abaday, well, our very own secretary will have to answer the query about the as proposed ordinance submitted to the Sanggunian.
Per instruction of the Committee on Laws and Rules, that we have to determine the difference between the existing anti-elderly abuse ordinance and the one being drafted by the Committee on Senior Citizens. So we have already finished the comparison because that was the instruction. To make a comparison, what is the difference and the similarity between the existing ordinance authored before by the, in fact, it is also authored by the Chairman of the Committee on Laws and Rules, Councilor Nakaya, and former Councilor Alexander Daserwi back
Vice
in
Mayor, sana.
16th City Council. So we have already completed the comparison, but due to these recent events that many of our councilors, especially some members of the Committee on Laws and Rules, could not physically come to the office to hold meetings, so it is still pending with the Committee on Laws and Rules Secretariat. But if the chairman of the committee would wish that we will send the copy, we will send the copy to him. Thank you.
So if I may continue, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, carry on, Majority Floor Leader.
Thank you very much. We have an existing ordinance that is similar to the proposal of Councilor Roger Abaday. That is why we have instructed the Secretary to assess whether or not the proposal of Councilor Abaday is the same and applicable to what he has been introducing to the City Council. Otherwise, it would be a mandatory proposal to amend the existing ordinance, Mr. Chairman. So may we then secure a copy and ask the City Secretary to provide us, all members of the committee and that of the Committee of Senior Citizens, so that we can harmonize the proposal that has been introduced by Councilor Abaday.
May I?
Thank
may I-
you, Majority Floor Leader.
Can I say something, Mr. Chairman, in addition?
Okay,
Uh,
Councilor Roger Abaday.
Mr. Chairman, I am extending my thanks to the Secretary and to the Chairman. I have no position about if there are any inconsistency of that proposed ordinance. Now, that ordinance was already passed, made by the TWG. It's not personally only alone by the Chairman, but it was passed by the TWG several meetings, no? So most members are considered expert on their field. Now, Section 18 of that ordinance, the repealing clause, that if there is new law, ordinance number 11394 2009 is hereby repealed. Other ordinance, executive orders, and rules and regulations are part thereof. In consideration, these ordinances are likewise repealed or modified accordingly. That is the usual consequence if there is a new law to be passed. And those old law is overridden by the new law that is passed by the council or the legislative body. But I welcome any insertions or any substance improvement to substantiate the ordinance.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Roger Abaday. Councilor Saldi Ocon.
Ngayong hapon, Vice.
Mayong hapon. You have the floor, Councilor Saldi Ocon.
Thank you, Vice. May I query to the good reporter, Vice Mayor. Councilor Roger, mayong hapon, pare.
Good afternoon, very Councilor. Kuya.
Okay, yeah, kuya. Considering that we have had now our newly installed Senior Citizen Commissioner, if I'm not mistaken, in the person of the former mayor of
Quijano.
Iligan. Yeah, Mayor Franklin Franklin Quijano, right? Okay. Now, may I know, Mr. Presiding Chair, from the Good Reporter, Councilor Roger Abaday, did the senior citizen have already united within our jurisdiction? Because we know the fact, especially during the first term of our mayor, medyo divided ang, senior citizen. Another is query. In Cagayan de Oro, what is the oldest age of senior citizen who is still alive right now? I don't know if Councilor Roger have an idea about it. Then another query is the senior citizen, Mr. Presiding Chair. If the senior citizen can avail any benefit in any establishment, like for example, medicine or so on and so forth, if they could not present their ID. Nangutan ako ani Vice Mayor tungod kay gusto ko mo abil. The only problem, wala pa ko senior citizen. Ya, pangitaan nato og driver's license, di man gyapon mo.
Senior citizens.
Oo, senior citizen ID pa gyud ang gikinahanglan. And lastly, Mr. Chairman, query to the Good Reporter, what is the, I don't know if we have already our total number of senior citizens in the city. Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Saldi Ocon. Okay,
Mr. Chair.
okay, Councilor Girly Balaba.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mayong hapon kanimo. You have
Mutingog lang
to-
ko bahin ani Councilor Ocon.
Survey.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. May hapon mo add lang ko mo tabang ko sa committee kay Councilor Abaday. As chairman of the Committee on Social Services, maapil mo good na ang senior citizen diya sa CSWD. As kasamtangan, na aduna kitay 10,000 kabuok nga mga senior citizens nga wala maapil sa pension. Pension lang akong hisgutan ani Councilor Ocon ha ug Mr. Chair, Vice, ang pension aduna tay 10,000. So nanghangyo kita sa DSWD through kauban ang CSWD chair na si Sir Mike Fabelio ug ang atong mayor si Mayor Oscar Moreno nga ipadugang sa ato ang DSWD beneficiary sa ato mga senior citizens pensioners, no? Aduna kitay 10,000 nga nasa listahan na wala na appeal. So karon ang DSWD naghatag kitag sulat, ang DSWD kini good news na lang na in time for the celebration of the Elderly Week nga ang DSWD aduna na validate na sila og 2,000 kabuok nga mga senior citizens kay dugang sa ila kini sa social pension ug before ang ilang isubmit ang budget for the 2021 kay wala na may budget for 2020 unta aduna pay 7,000 nga wala pa naabot di sa 10,000 man ta no nasa 2,000 so napay mga 7,000 or 8,000 unta before 20 kanang October ilahang budget deliberation mas madaghan ang ato ang social pensioner na senior citizen. Mo lang na siguro ko ikadungag kung pila ka book senior citizens tanan na adari sa ato ang syudad mabot siguro na og mga 90,000 plus pero na siya sa kining 10,000 lang ang ato kining mga beneficiaries. Councilor Ocon as chair of Committee on Social Services.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Girly Balaba.
Mr. Chair.
Well,
Mr. Chair.
okay, Councilor Jocelyn Rodriguez, ayong hapon kanimo, konsyala.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, our fellow councilors. In support to the
Councilor Abada and Councilor Girly Balaba, I noticed during my term as a barangay chair that most of the senior citizens, especially those who cannot walk, dili makalakaw, they have problem no applying for these benefits. Mauna kadaghan na instead of helping those nga di na gyud makalakaw who are badly needing help from us, dili na yun ma-appeal with the monthly pension or whatever perks there is no nga mahatag sa atong senior citizen. May we be creative in reaching out to the senior citizens, especially nga naa na gyud sa ilang kaugalingon panimalay kay di naman gyud sila makagawas. There was a problem before nga ang CSWD, they do not anymore go to houses to make interview. Can we make some arrangement for these senior citizens who really need our financial assistance, our whatever perks that they can get from the city, nga untag kini sila maadtuan gayud sa ilang balay para ma-interview and they can be included in the benefits the city can give and the national that can give also to our senior citizens. Hopefully we can concentrate on these senior citizens who are really already in their homes because they cannot anymore walk and they need financial assistance, most especially. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Jocelyn Rodriguez. So, well, thank you for our special report, Councilor Roger Abaday. In regards to the proposed ordinance, I think it is very loud and clear coming from the laws and rules, our very own majority floor leader, Ayan Marky Blatnakaya, that since there is a proposal of such ordinance, as you special reported this afternoon, so as we heard also from our very own secretary, that there is already an existing ordinance. So what we will have to do is that we have to harmonize it so that we can avoid the redundancy of such ordinance or resolution with the same meaning, with the same thought, with the same content of such ordinance. So we have to harmonize it at the proper time. So I think it is very loud and clear to Councilor Roger Abaday, to the chairman on Committee on Senior Citizen. Then what that we have to expect about these benefits from a senior citizen, maybe you can directly inform our CSWD or any information or progress about that said national law. Maybe you can directly ask or visit the office of our senior citizen or our very own CSWD, and so as our committee chairman, Councilor Roger Abaday, our chairman on senior citizen. Daghang salamat ngayong hapon. So our second reporter,
Councilor Gaani, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Maria Lourdes Gaani. Ngayong hapon kanimo konsehala.
I recognize lang tumagot.
Salamat, Chair. May hapon ka natong tanan. I would just like to report on what happened during our last meeting last Thursday on one of our agenda, which is the proposed meat inspection. Last August 2017, the Health Committee of the 18th City Council under our stewardship started creating Inspection Services Division under the City Veterinary Office. We undertook this task in tandem with the Committee on Agriculture, headed then by Kagawad Ani Yamut Daba. This was in response to the persistent recommendations of the National Meat Inspection Services for the passage of said ordinance. Its main purpose was to implement the National Meat Inspection Code of the Philippines, the Republic Act 10536. Due to the highly technical nature of the national law, we created a technical working group to be led by the city veterinarian then. The task was imposing and took a lot of time and effort. In fact, it overlapped. The proposed law coverage likewise became more comprehensive, such that it now wants to create a city meat inspection code. Our partner committee also saw a change in chairmanship with Kagawa J. Roa Pascual now heading the Council's Committee on Agriculture. After 3 years, one election, and endless meetings, we now have a rough draft of the city's meat inspection code. We presented the draft ordinance for plenary discussions last September 21, 2020, during this council's 57th regular session. The draft ordinance invited a lot of observations and reservations from our colleagues, such that the presiding officer, upon motion from the floor, decided to defer the matter for further study. One of the more problematic provisions of the draft ordinance is the requirement for lechoneros to bring all hogs for slaughter to the city slaughterhouse. The capabilities of the city slaughterhouse, managed by the Mega Farms Integrated Agro Livestock Incorporated under a memorandum of agreement with the city government for 25 years, are also being questioned. The MOA itself has been recommended for review. Lastly, penalties for violations of the ordinance are also being scrutinized. Amidst this backdrop, this representation called a joint meeting between the Health and Health Insurance and the Agriculture committees to iron out the more contentious issues. Understandably, the issues cropped up in the joint committee's lively discussions last October 1, 2020. In the end, and in consideration of the interconnecting issues affecting the proposed ordinance, it was decided by the joint committee to file a resolution to constitute the 19th City Council into a committee of the whole to deliberate on this matter. Upon recommendation of the Health and Health Insurance and Agriculture Committees meeting jointly, we hereby move that the 19th City Council constitute itself into the Committee of the Whole to deliberate on the proposed City Meat Inspection Code of Cagayan de Oro City. We further move to grant the Honorable Vice Mayor Rainier Joaquin Kikang Uy the authority to designate the presiding officer thereof. Thank you for your time and please stay safe. Thank you and maayong hapon.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Maria Lourdes Ani.
At the proper time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, at the proper time, we will have to constitute it since the proposed ordinance is already approved in the first reading. So we have to go on to the process, due process, or the process of such ordinance, the proper cycle. So at the proper time, we have to constitute the whole 19th City Council as the committee as a whole for such proposed ordinance for the city Cagayan de Oro meat inspection code. Okay. Well, before we proceed, I would like to greet or welcoming wholeheartedly our fellow official or our fellow members of the 19th City Council. Inuman lang taog ti, no other than Councilor J-Boy Roa Pascual. Nakabalo pa mi ipakuanan ta ka na mo og lechon. Oh, banda ba ka na ay kuan ni Councilor Edgar Cabanlas. Nambok man ka kagawa Councilor.
Can we see Councilor J Boy closer to the presiding officer?
Okay. So
we cannot view him on this Zoom.
That you have to appear on our video cam. Can you?
No, not on the video cam, Mr. Chairman. Closer to the presiding officer.
Okay.
For posterity.
Really, as a ruling, only the presiding officer alone. Okay. Did you see each other? Did you already see the face of Councilor J?
Not yet, not yet.
Say hi.
Can we have a traditional hugging? Hugging?
Sa pag-welcome, Jer, sa pag-welcome, ihag man.
Traditional ba?
Ah,
It's a trait of a Filipino. Newly,
so, okay. So, oh, see?
Jay,
Very,
Jay.
very, we have to, again, we have to welcome him back, Councilor J. Boy Roa Pascual. At the
Councilor Pino is waiting for your, eagerly waiting for your hug.
very alive and kicking, and so as very healthy and strong.
Kumbati na sab.
Oh.
Councilor Sino is much waiting for the hug of Jay. Councilor Jay.
Well, a group hug,
After the session.
manifestation and sharing of a great expression that once you care for such person, and to another. So, Councilor John Michael Seno, later on.
At the proper time, Mr. Chairman. We now proceed to the agenda proper.
Okay, anyway, carry on Majority Floor Leader. Welcome back, Councilor J. Boy Roa Pascual. Mayong hapon kanimo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Majority Floor.
Item number 1 is proposed resolution number 2020-200, returning to the Barangay Council of Pagalungan, the City, its ordinance number 002, series of 2020, covering its supplemental budget number 1 for calendar year 2020, with an estimated income of 433,375 pesos, with information that said ordinance is operative in its entirety. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the Majority Floor Leader. Any second? Seconded by Councilor J. Boy Roa Pascual. Is there any? Okay. Is there any objection? Objection? Hearing none. Hearing none. Resolution number 2020-200 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
For its finality, any second? Seconded.
Number 2 is proposed resolution number 2020-201, returning to the Barangay Council of Barangay number 9, this city, its ordinance number 00, series of 2020, covering its annual budget for calendar year 2020 with an estimated income of 2,891,979 pesos, with information that said ordinance is operative in its entirety. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the Majority.
Second.
Second.
Query, Mr. Chairman.
Objection. Okay, query.
Query.
Councilor Saldi Ocon.
Query from the majority floor. Pare, may hapon.
May hapon, pare.
Belated happy birthday kay Mare.
Salamat, pare.
A query, Mr. Presiding Officer, is about ordinance number 000. Why 00, Mr. Presiding Officer? Meaning the whole year around.
As recorded here, resolution number 2020-201.
May we ask our
Okay.
secretary for the answer?
I think it just
Typical.
error.
Just a typo error. But
Yes,
we will correct this, Mr. Secretary, please.
Dubulo Okon.
Yes, sir. 001.
Okay. This is 001.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Open.
okay. As
Corrected, Mr. Chairman.
As corrected, there is a pending proposal. Objection? Objection. Hearing none. Resolution number 2020-001. 2001.
20.
001.
So, the first resolution with the same kind,
002.
2002 or 002.
002.
002. 002, bali.
No. The question raised by Councilor Ocon is regarding the barangay ordinance of the barangay number 9.
Yes.
It's not our resolution.
Yes.
Okay. But
Please
we have
supply,
to
Mr.
harmonize
Secretary.
as given number. Okay,
Kindly
The
supply
number
the
as attached, Mr. Chairman, is ordinance number 001 series of 2020.
001, 2020. Okay.
as corrected, Mr. Chairman.
So there is no objection and corrected. Resolution number 2020-001 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Hence,
Second,
Number 3, Mr. Chairman, is proposed ordinance number 2020-166 appropriating the sum of 290,000 pesos from the item non-office social services sector special purpose funds, awards, rewards, expenses, sports incentives in the 2020 annual budget to be made available for the payment of cash incentives to the herein listed medalists of various national and international competitions pursuant to ordinance number 7927-2001, guidelines for the grant of cash incentives award to deserving local athletes who won medals or awards in national or international competitions of individual or team sports. As listed, Mr. Chairman, we have the awardees: Canino Ruel, another amount in the total amount of 100,000 for this first and second. Canino Ronald for 50,000 pesos. Tabamo Marvin, 50,000 pesos. Pamisa LJ, 50,000 pesos. Sanchez Shine, 10,000 pesos. Neri Clint Nino, 15,000 pesos. Another for him, Neri Clint Nino, 15,000 pesos. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
move.
second,
Okay. Before we query, we have to submit it first. So properly moved and seconded.
second.
Yes, a query coming from Councilor Edna Marban Dahino. You have the floor.
Good afternoon to you,
Mayong
Mr.
hapon.
Chairman, and to our fellow councilors and to our the online councilors. Mr. Chairman, as the author, why these two, is it the same person? But they have two different amounts. And I know, Mr. Chairman, that the name of the competition is just the same. So I'm just wondering why individual standard 12, individual standard U12, but they have the same competition. Why there are two set of amounts to be given to the same person? Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Edna.
Permission, Mr. Chair.
John Michael Seno.
Internet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. May hapon sa tanan.
Hindi mo ni Jude.
As to the query of Councilor Inday Dahino
I don't know, dito siya. Ay, saan ang balita?
is individual game. Pwede man siya nga naidula nga kani nga event is naamoy given time nga 2 minutes lang. Lahi po na siya nga particular nga dula. Napoy katong dula nga longest time na ay 60 minutes na inyong pwede dulaan or open time na pwede ninyo dulaan. So daghan criteria nga musulod diya sa chess. Dili lang siya nga isa lang ka kompetisyon. So pero parehara siya nga event pero daghan yang giapilan. Kay pwede man siya maka-appeal sa lain na pod nga event. So nakadaog mangyapon siya didto mo manggali nga sa ato ang bag-o nga ordinansa nga ato kining gatan-awon kay dili mamahimo pod nga sa isa ka player lugar kung apilan niya tanan, kung makakuha siya og daog sa tanan na makuha pud niya tanan. Naluoy pud kay itong team nga dula nga isa lang ang ilang pwede makuha nga gold. So muna nga naay pending ordinance nga atong gituki karon nga ato nang gilantaw
Mabay inclusion. Coach, wala.
also nga atong tagaan
Kang
na ang mga Oo, appeal na ang mga coaches kay kani atong previous ordinance ulay labot
Okay, okay. Mauna.
players.
Mauna.
Ug ang ikatulo na yun
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, labi na sa katong mga events nga diin ang city government nagtabang sa ilaha. So, kita na mo'y nagpakaon sa ilaha, kita na mo'y nag-lodge sa ilaha, unya pag-abot sa premyo, mao lang gyapon natong ihatag, i-compare nato aning mga uban athletes nga diin wala po'y gihatag ang city government. So, na certain proportion na nga atong gitanaw diha sa ato ang komitiba sa youth and sports nga diin para maamendahan lang nato. So kini na mga dula magyud Mr. Chair, pending ni siya sa katong previous nato na aprubahan nga 1.5 million na alay wala nila naakip sa pag-submit na kaligtaan nila muning na ay siyam na lang kabuok na bilin Mr. Chair. Pero kini nga particular nga problema nakita na ni sa komitiba o gatun-an na karon para nga isubmit na pod sa plenaryo for amendments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chair.
John Michael.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
So follow-up question coming from Councilor Edna Dahino.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I would like to appreciate the chairman of the youth committee of the youth because this is very kumbaga unfair siya, Mr. Chairman, because isa lang katao ang mag-receive sa dagan tungod kay he has the talent, so it should be patas. So with this, I really appreciate the committee, Chairman. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, another observation, Mr. Chair.
Edna Dahino.
Mr. Chair, observation.
Councilor Roger Abaday.
Okay, I would like to ask the chairman or the author of this ordinance, Mr. Chairman. Notice that if you read the recipients of athletes, there are athletes who supposed to receive 2 years ago, 2018, 19, or we are about to end the year 2020. Now, what is the reason for delay of this award? Because the purpose of giving award is to motivate that can be used for them for their personal needs, especially in the field of sports. So may I ask the author, Mr. Chairman, why is it was delayed?
Okay, Councilor John Michael Zeno.
Thank you once again, Mr. Chair. As to the query of Councilor Roger Abaday, ang previous mangyod nato ang ordinansa, wala nakaingon pilay allocation nga ihibutang sa city government. So, giabot sa inani nga sitwasyon, kay na ay event na gaka-short na ta sa ato ang budget. Like for example, we are only allocated 500,000. Ug ang makadawat day supposed to be ang atong matagaan is worth 1 million. So kana pud siya gitun-an na karon sa komitiba nga sa ordinansa gilakip na gid didto nga pilay alokasyon sa city government every year kaya lagi himuan og ordinansa pero wala na tan-aw pilay kwarta nga i-allocate. So mo ni siyang nadugay kay wala man natagaan tanan. Wala natagaan tanan. So gipangitaan og pamagi dinhi sa komitiba lugar nga matagaan lang gihapon bisag katong mga previous na kay lagi naman tay ordinansa nga nag-istorya na nagmando nga tagaan yung insentiba nga atong mga atlet. Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councilor John Michael Zeno. But since our funds is scarce or limited, so we have to further study for giving sports incentives such as like this, since there are many, or well, I think there is different categories, but if there is still the same person that a recipient, maybe you have to further study and for the amendments of such incentive sports program of the city. So we have to amend it. It should be fair and balanced and properly distributed about these incentives. Okay, is there any other question? There is none. So there is a pending ordinance as proposed. Since there is no objection, Objection? Hearing none. Ordinance number 2020-166 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
Number 4, Mr. Chairman, is proposed ordinance number 2020-167, authorizing the city accountant to charge the sum of 7,500 pesos from the item maintenance and other operating expenses, MOE, advertising expenses in the 2020 annual budget of the Office of the City Vice Mayor of the City to cover payment of the advertising expenses incurred by said office for December 2019. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved.
Second.
Seconded. Objection? Objection. Hearing none. Ordinance number 2020-167 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its finality.
Second.
Second.
Number 5, Mr. Chairman, is proposed ordinance number 2020-168, appropriating the sum of 8,120 from the item continuing appropriation calendar year 2017, non-office land acquisition expropriation to be made available for the payment of the claim for just compensation of improvements, plants, and trees owned by Ms. Dorina Mangadlao. Such were traversed by the proposed road widening and concreting of Sitio Impaquibil, Barangay Tignapuluan, the city, and for this purpose authorizing the Honorable City Mayor to sign the deed of absolute sale thereof. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved.
Second.
Since it is in Barangay Tignapuluan, so it's very timely for Councilor J. Boy Roa Pascual, who is around to support this ordinance. So properly moved and seconded. Since there is no objection, hearing none. Ordinance number 2020-168 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Seconded.
Number 6, Mr. Chairman, is proposed ordinance number 2020-169, authorizing the Honorable City Mayor Oscar S. Moreno to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Understanding MOU with the Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH, Cagayan de Oro City, 1st District Engineering Office, represented by its District Engineer, Virginia B. G. Batucael, covering the implementation of the herein farm-to-market road projects in the 1st District of the city, under the terms and conditions stipulated therein, and for this purpose appropriating the sum of 2,500,000 pesos from the item Special Programs Projects Upgrading Concreting of Farm-to-Market Road LGU Equity under the Agricultural Productivity Office APO in the 2020 annual budget to be made available for the city's 10% counterpart, therefore, to with name of project Concreting of Barangay Bayanga FMR, Barangay Bayanga, Cagayan de Oro City, 12 million pesos. And 10% LGU counterpart is 1,200,000 pesos. B is concreting of Barangay Lumbia, FMR, Barangay Lumbia, Cagayan de Oro City, 13 million pesos. For the 10% LGU counterpart is 1,300,000 pesos. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the majority vote.
Second.
Objection? Objection. Hearing none. Hearing none, ordinance number 2020-169 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense for its finality. Seconded.
We have proposed inclusion, Mr. Chairman, as items 7 and 8 and 9. Move for their inclusion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, may inclusion for inclusion.
Okay.
May resolution requesting the Honorable City Mayor to for the immediate release of cash gift extension.
Well, as I ruled out before, that you have to address it already to CSWD, and with regards to the cash gift, you have to ask it for the availability of funds for the local finance committee. Where we will have not, as I ruled out, we have to harmonize it. Such ordinance.
There is already for that matter, Mr. Chairman, and the problem is for the release, Mr. Chairman. So they are supposed to receive national and the local. So since we have already budgeted that for that year, so the lacking is the release.
Okay, so we are ready for the inclusion. So maybe you can address it to the next regular session of ours, Councilor Roger.
It's urgent, Mr. Chairman, because today is the celebration of the Senior Citizens Week. They are supposed to receive that, Mr. Chairman, because there are complaints that in my
Well,
community.
if there is an urgency, you can directly ask our mayor, or there is an office of the mayor. Is as a public office, it is open 24 hours. So you address it if there is an urgency. There is no need for us that they have a resolution since there is a Republic Act or there is already a national law for it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that is just uh, a reminder, or it just a reinforcement of that possibility that such budget will be released, Mr. Chairman.
Well, but there is no need for a resolution. When it comes to a reminder for something, as a committee chairman of senior citizen, well, it is you are duty bound for it to act and then address it directly to our chief executive if there is an urgency for it.
Mr. Chairman, the function of the committee is just recommendatory in nature. So that's why we have to ask the majority members of the council in order to push that legislative body to the executive.
But this is not the right time for a proper resolution to make it.
I think it is proper time, Mr. Chairman, in view of celebration of the Senior Citizens Week and month. They're supposed to enjoy this cash gift and felicitations or plaque of appreciation.
Well, if you, Councilor Roger Abada, my goodness. Well, if you are preparing for it, why is it that you already submitted at this moment of time?
We have not scheduled, Mr. Chairman, for the first week of last week, so it's premature. Then this is the proper time.
Well, this is against our ruling about this resolution of yours. So as we
for the benefit and welfare of the senior citizen, Mr. Chairman, especially for the recipient, I think there is no hindrance if we will have to pass that resolution, Mr. Chairman, so that we have also our move and participation in this matter.
well, we have to submit it to everybody. For
Maybe the addressee, Mr. Chairman, may not be the city mayor, but the department head concern.
That is
department head
my
concern.
main concern, majority floor. Well, I think we have to preempt the implementation, especially we are involving such huge funds, and then there is a resolution coming from us. So I have to protect the everybody or the council itself. So much better recommendation, majority floor leader. Thank you for your inputs. Okay.
To the
There is
department
a
head.
resolution for
The resolution,
number 10.
I would like to amend my resolution, Mr. Chairman, directed to the CSWD.
That is why I think we already addressed it in the earlier part that we have to address it to the CSWD.
So that, Mr. Chairman, they have the authority to inform the city mayor from the city council through my chairmanship. It's a matter of request, Mr. Chairman. I think there is no harm if we will just inform this agency for purposes of giving welfare and regards to our senior citizens, especially during this celebration, month and week celebration.
Okay, at this time we will well, it depends upon the general consent of the city council for this inclusion.
I am asking the support.
Include, but next time around, I am very. We have to go on to the ruling that there is a proposal. You have to submit it again to the secretary or the thought itself or the draft itself or any ordinance or resolution, especially to the Committee on Rules, our very own Majority Floor Leader, Ayan Marky Black
Yes,
Nakaya.
Mr. Chairman, for residency of the service alone. So we have done that several times already. Thank you very much.
May I move for the inclusion, Mr. Chairman, as item 7, 8, 9, and with your consideration, 10.
Okay. Okay, Majority. Our very own Secretary is
Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, and my colleagues.
inputting it for the one. Well, we have to submit it first to, as our ruling, we have to submit it to everybody for this approval or for inclusion.
I am begging the support of this.
I cannot decide alone. We are a council here.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Act accordingly by our rules.
With my bendedness, I am appealing to my colleagues to support and to support that resolution.
We have our rules. So, meaning if we have a rule, then we have to follow.
Please consider this that's for us, for our council.
Just wait for our very own secretary to input for your proposal.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your kind.
Check for styling. So, Majority Floor, we now proceed for
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 7, Mr. Chairman, is proposed resolution number 2020-202, expressing the 19th City Council sorrow over the death of former City Councilor Lourdes Inday Chavez Maestrado Lavinia of Cagayan de Oro City and conveying most profound and deepest sympathy and condolences to the bereaved family. All members, as the proponents, move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
properly moved by the Majority Floor.
Second.
Seconded. Objection? Objection. Hearing none. Resolution number 2020-202 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense. Second.
Number 8, Mr. Chairman, is proposed resolution number 2020-203, expressing the 19th City Council's sorrow over the death of Dr. Enrique Saab, surgeon of the NMSC, and conveying most profound and deepest sympathy and condolences to the bereaved family. Proponents, all members. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved.
Second.
Objection. Objection. Hearing none. Resolution number 2020-204 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Second.
Number 9 is proposed resolution number 2020-204, constituting the 19th City Council as Committee of the Whole to study and review the existing BOT contract for the redevelopment of the city slaughterhouse and authorizing Honorable City Vice Mayor Renier Joaquin Velez Kikang Uy to designate the presiding officer thereof. Proponent, Councilor Maria Lourdes Esgaani, move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved. Any second?
Second.
Seconded. Objection? Objection. Hearing none. Resolution number 2020-204. 204 or 20? Okay. 204. 204 is hereby approved.
Move to dispense second final reading.
Dispense.
Second.
Number 10 is proposed resolution number 2020-205, urging the city's Social Welfare and Development Office to facilitate the release of the centenarian gift in the amount of 100,000 pesos to Cagayanon elderlies who have reached the age of 100 years old. Proponent, Councilor Roger Abaday. Move for its approval, Mr. Chairman.
Move.
Second.
Seconded. Objection. Objection. Okay, Councilor Edgar Cabanlas. You have the floor. I just want to express my sentiment on this procedure that we are following, because this is about execution of the laws and ordinances. The execution of the ordinances pertains to the power of the city mayor and the department under him. So, in this particular case, we are seemingly
intervening into the function of the executive department. My proposal is this, I think we have noted this before. Two possible actions that we could take. An official note from the office of the vice mayor would suffice. Not an ordinance, not a resolution.
That is why I am keep on
Second.
trying to explain.
I mean, your letter, Mr. Chairman, would suffice to follow up. Second, it could be a committee action. The committee of Councilor Abaday would pass that resolution, but not the resolution of the entire body,
That is
because
why.
that resolution would be interpreted negatively by the office of, because that resolution, if approved, they will refer that to the mayor. So the same procedure. So dua lang itong memo, either through a committee resolution from the committee of committee ni Councilor Abaday, which we did in our committees also. Second, or you know, or a letter from the office of the vice mayor to the concerned department. Di na mura ko kabala ka ba nga, we might be demanding from the office of the.
That is why. That is the main issue about that resolution.
And the mayor biya, di man biya pamugus po na to. So, o di ba tayo niya ga, so ako lang is respeto.
Okay. Make it a proper amendment for.
May I react with the statement of Councilor Cabanlas?
Well, okay.
Mr. Chairman, I think we are going away with our house rules, because all resolutions, all
Well, we have to.
all acts of the committee, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Edgar Cabanlas, make it a proper proposal for make it a proper proposal for such resolution that we have to approve. So about your proposal, which I am
So in order to capture the debate and to follow for the Honorable Vice Mayor to proceed on the options that I was talking about before, I move for a deferment, and that is not subject to debate.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
there is a proposal for a deferment. Any second?
Reaction, Mr. Chairman.
Objection? Objection?
Objection, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing none.
May I,
Resolution number
may I explain, Mr. Chairman,
number
my objection?
2020-205.
It's my objection, Mr.
Defer.
May, Mr. Chairman, can I appeal the decision of the body?
No more, Councilor Roger. It's hugging time already.
Okay, Majority Floor.
I'm appealing.
It's hugging time, Mr. Chairman, already.
I'm appealing the decision of the
There being no other pending before the table of the majority leader. Move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
I'm appealing the decision of the majority.
Session adjourned. Thank you, Majority Floor.